Does hearing the word repotting gives you anxiety? Or if you have had a bad experience after repotting a plant, or you don't know where to start, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Jira and I'm the founder of Plant Corner. We are a small plant shop in Harlem. Last week, we asked our followers on Instagram what video should we film next. More than 50% of you said that you would love to see a video on how to repot a plant. And I completely get it because in the past 3 years, this is probably one of the most common requests that we've received from our customers because you don't want to repot your own plant, you were afraid of killing the plant, or maybe you have had a bad experience in repotting plants and they all died. So I hope you find this video helpful and boost up your confidence a little bit for the next time you have to repot your plant. In this video, we are going to be talking about why do we have to repot a plant, when do we repot a plant, and how do we do it. I have another video actually that I talked about top 5 common mistakes that people make during repotting or after repotting, so I'll link that down below. And also, just for the context, today we are going to be talking about repotting from soil to soil only, and we're not talking about repotting from water into soil or from soil to other substrates. Let's get into it. Why do we need to repot a plant? Well, the simple answer to that question is because the current pot or soil is no longer the best fit for that plant. And here are the possible reasons why. 1. The plant is outgrowing the pot. That means the plant has grown so much roots inside the container, so there is no more room for the roots to grow. Or the plant itself becomes much bigger than the pot, so it's now top heavy and cannot stand on its own. 2. Nutrient depletion, because over time the plant absorbs the nutrients from the soil, and once the nutrients are completely absorbed, you will notice that the soil becomes crispier and the soil is repelling water, or the soil is drying out fast. So that means this current soil is no longer providing any nutrients for the plants, so you want to switch them out and give them a fresh new soil so they can continue to grow. 3rd, soil compaction. Every time you water the plants, it pushes the soil down and it becomes more and more compact. So if it's not compacting too much, aerating the soil will help. So just get a chopstick and poke it around the soil so that the air and water can still touch the roots. However, if the soil compacts too much because the plant has been in the same pot for so long, to the point where both the water and the air cannot get through, you might want to switch out the soil entirely. Lastly, because you have root rot, or maybe because the plant has certain types of pests that lives in the soil. If your plant has root rot, that means there's a harmful bacteria or fungi in the soil, so you want to get rid of them. Or if your plant has pest infestation like root mealy or root aphids or spider mites, these type of pests lays eggs in the soil. So if you don't get rid of the soil, the problem will continue to persist. So it's better for you to actually clean out the soil entirely and give the plant a new home. When do we repot plants? Well, we were often told to repot in the spring because it's their growing season, or to repot after you bring it home. But personally, if the plant is still happy in its current pot, then I would not repot it. I would only repot it when the plant needs it. And when the plant needs it, it will show some signs for you to do it. So no matter what time of the year, if the plant needs to be repot, that's when I would choose to repot the plant. So some signs are this. You notice that you are watering the plant more often because the soil is not retaining moisture, or the plant has no room to grow. And when you move the plant out of the pots, you see more roots than soil. And this is something we call root bound, right? When the root keep growing, circling under the pot, and there's no more room to grow, that means you have to move a plant to a new home. Another sign is that the plant decline rapidly after you water them, because sometimes plant with root rot will show yellow leaves or signs that are similar to plants that are thirsty. But if you water them right away, the problem gets worse. So that's the sign that tells me, oh, this plant has root rot and I will need to repot a plant or do something to save the plant's life. Lastly, if you notice that the pests keep coming back, even though you wipe the leaves and clean the leaves regularly, that means the problem is in the soil. Now that you have made sure that you have a plant that is ready to be repotted, let's get into the preparation. First, you will need a pot that is 1 to 2 inch wider and deeper than the current size of the root ball. Remember that this is not always about getting a bigger pot. Sometimes you have to repot the plants because the roots have rotted, so you have to remove parts of the roots, and in this case, it makes more sense to downsize the pot. So remember to check the size of the root balls that the plant has left before you pick the pot. We also shouldn't be using the pot that is too big, especially if you tend to bottom water the plants or try to water them thoroughly, because the new soil will hold on to more water and they might not be drying out fast enough. And this could create an environment that can contribute to root rot. So you want something that is slightly wider and slightly deeper. Next, you will need a good substrate for the plant, and most houseplants like philodendron, monstera, and pothos will enjoy a well-draining soil. If your soil is on the denser side, you will want to add amendments like bark, perlite, or pumice to help the soil drain a little better. Then you can prepare the space and tools that you will use. If you are repotting a larger plant, then it makes sense to put like a potting mat or a large tarp to line up the floor to prevent mess. Tools like scoopers and wooden chopsticks can also come in handy. You can use the chopsticks to help loosen compacted soil or remove the plants out of the pot. And now it's time to take a deep breath. Remember that repotting is such an amazing opportunity to bond with your plants. You can take this time to appreciate how much they grow and also pat yourself in the back for doing a good job at caring for them to the point that they are so big for their current pot and that they have to be repotted into a bigger, newer home. And now it's time to remove the plant from its old pot. I usually do it when the soil is dry. I squeeze the pot gently and then slowly remove the plant from its old pot. In this case, you can see that the roots already filled up the pot and this plant is ready to be potted in its new home. On the other hand, this is a plant that is not ready to be repotted because the root system is very fine and there's still a lot of room for the plants to grow into this pot. And here is just a quick comparison of what it looks like for a plant that is ready and not ready to be repotted. For the plants that has stronger root system, like this Scindapsus that has very thick roots, I would loosen the roots gently, just a little bit, so that when we pot them into the new soil, the roots start to explore the soil right away. However, if the plants that I'm repotting have fine and thin and fragile root system, like Calathea, Alocasia, Hoya, I would probably just move the plant into a new pot without touching the roots. Once we move the plant out of the pot, now it's time to prepare the new home. In this case, I use Fox Farm soil because it does have a high amount of perlite and the soil is quite well draining and fluffy. So I put the new soil into the new pot, and I particularly love clear pots because you can see exactly what's going on inside. And if I could turn back time and repot all my plants, I would place them in clear plastic pots with lots of drainage hole. Now that we have the soil and we place the plant inside, we are going to fill up the rest of the space with more soil. So just gently fill up and then slowly tap the pot. That way there's no air pockets within the soil, and we'll just continue to keep filling the soil in until it's completely filled up the container that we have prepared. And once the soil completely filled the pot, our repotting process is done. The plant looks so happy and stunning in their new home. And if you don't like the look of clear plastic pot, just find a cover pot that is slightly bigger than the nursery pot, and then you can place the plant inside. Now, every time that you need to water the plant, you can just lift the pot and check to see if the soil is completely dry or not. And you will see it from the condensation that's around the pot. If there is still condensation around the pot, that means the soil is still moist, and in this case it is. So I'm just gonna leave it there until it needs to be watered. And you are done. Your plant is now in a new home with bigger space for them to grow and thrive, and I am so proud of you to help them achieve that. I hope you find the video helpful. If you still have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, or if you have any suggestion or what other burning questions you have, also feel free to leave them in the comment down below so I can address them either on Instagram or on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much for spending time with me today and repotting our plants together. I hope you find this video helpful. I wish you the best of luck in your plant parent journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!